Viral internet challenges that ended in disaster.
The internet has seen its fair share of participatory challenge style trends. While most are innocuous, today we'll be looking at the
Wednesday, I will be attempting to try all the food challenges ever. Cinnamon, I don't want to do the one chip challenge. Dude, I don't want to do the one chip challenge. I'll be real. I'm gonna do the Bean Boozled, cinnamon, banana Sprite, chubby bunny. What other food challenges are there? I'm gonna do all the food challenges.
rare instances of them becoming fatal. Let's begin.
Get this, more than 250 people worldwide died while trying to take a selfie.
Imagine trying to look sexy. Imagine trying to make a thirst trap, trying to look all good and shit. And that's the last thing ever. Wait, hold on. Where are you taking the selfie for this to even happen? Are you like in the middle of a freeway?
Death by selfie. You know, it was only about 15 years ago that simply snapping a photo of yourself and uploading it to social media was seen as novel. Like, selfies were viewed as cutting edge at one time, if you can believe it. An unspoken internet challenge came with the advent of the selfie. That challenge, of course, being who could take the craziest one. And unfortunately, some would find themselves in perilous, life-threatening situations trying to get a good selfie, especially early on.
Okay.
Take, for example, the tragic case of 3 teenage girls.
Don't tell me 3 of them died. There's no way there was 3 deaths on one selfie. Y'all know that one girl in Jujutsu Kaisen? The one that, like, she has to take photos of people for them to die or something? That's what this is reminding me of.
Ricker, Kelsey Webster, and Savannah Webster. Their selfie photo is often cited as being the first linked to fatalities. But how could something this seemingly innocuous looking end badly? In October of 2011, these girls were out on a hike near Utah's Spanish Fork Canyon. They were having a bit of fun walking around, taking photos, giggling, you know, teenage girl stuff.
Yeah.
The group eventually finds them.
How do you go from feeling yourself wanting to take a selfie to deciding, yeah, let's go on a train. Let's go on a railroad. Let's wait for the train to actually try to hit us for us to take a photo. What was the elevation in that?
Themselves at a set of railroad tracks that ran adjacent to US Highway 6. While at the tracks, the girls were lucky enough to spot a train coming through. A pretty good find if you're trying to take cool pictures. And it seemed they all had the same idea that many teenagers around the world were having at the time.
Okay.
Let's get a selfie. It's a pretty cool photo, all of their faces just full of glee. Sadly though,
I don't get it. After y'all took the selfie, did y'all not hear the trains behind you? Are all of y'all like kind of like deaf or mute? Like, what's the word? Y'all couldn't have just moved right after this? And like, yo, the camera quality is not even that good. Like, this looks like a random light. Yo, like, okay, RIP.
girls don't know what's behind them. An eastbound locomotive was approaching from behind at the same time. But it seems because of all of the noise involved with the train passing them, they failed to notice the sound of the other one coming.
Nah, man, that's just terrible luck right there. RIP. Okay, now I can see how they're in this predicament. Wow.
Needless to say, the girls were totally unaware of the life-threatening situation they had found themselves in by taking this selfie. The oncoming eastbound train operators watched in horror as the girls stood almost motionless on the tracks, unflinching, with their faces seemingly fixated on the smartphone used to take the picture. Train crew members did everything they could in the short time they had, but sadly they couldn't get the girls to move, despite yelling, blowing horns, and making as much noise as possible. They were in their own little world.
Hold on, but isn't there space between the 2 trains for you to be in the middle where the gravel and shit is? Or am I tripping?
An engineer from the train is quoted as saying, totally oblivious to what was bearing down on them. A Facebook post could be found on Savannah's page with the caption, "Standing right by a train, ah ha ha ha, this is awesome," unquote. In what could have only been seconds later, the eastbound train, which was moving at 39 miles an hour, struck all 3 of the unsuspecting.
You know what's eerie? The only thing that survived is the goddamn camera. The fact that they still took their selfie. Like, it's crazy how they're all going from like jolly, happy to now they're not even alive anymore. Yo, this is eerie. Sometimes I have a hard time really conceptualizing it. All of these girls are gone.
Teens. When the eastbound train finally came to a stop, the crew leapt off and rushed to the scene of the carnage as fast as humanly possible. And what they found was devastating. Essa and Kelsey had seemingly been killed instantly, with only Savannah surviving the impact, but she was in critical condition. The teenager was raced to the hospital. There it was discovered that she had dozens of broken bones, internal bleeding, numerous blood clots, and a severe brain injury. The 13-year-old was put on life support and underwent multiple surgeries.
13? Oh, no. Dude, they were all minors, bro. No, bro. They're so young. But it's not even high school, bro. They're middle schoolers doing that. There's no way their parents should have let them out at a train station of all places.
In the hopes of saving her life. Tragically, though, doctors determined Savannah would never recover from her traumatic brain injury, and 3 days later, she was taken off of life support and passed away. The case of Savannah, Essa, and Kelsey is credited by many sources as being the first lethal incident resulting from people taking a dangerous selfie.
And 3 people at that. Yo, I never knew there was dark lore to selfies. I thought this is something that everybody does. I'm like, okay, this is nice. Now, I'm gonna feel a little weirded out, bro. Not that I was taking selfies in dangerous locations, but RIP to all of them, man.
Which I think is quite saddening considering how seemingly innocent what they were doing was. This selfie is certainly an excusable one in my eyes, as it was an unfortunate freak accident. But the same can't be said for our next case. You really gotta wonder what this guy was thinking. The Russian grenade selfie.
Do I even need to see the rest of this? All right. What did you do? Did you like unpin the grenade and you took a selfie? No one would know. No one would know.
In November of 2017, in the city of Lubinsk, Russia, a 26-year-old man by the name of Alexander Sasha Chechik had managed to get his hands on a pretty dangerous weapon, a grenade. The man snapped selfies with it and sent many photos of himself holding the grenade to friends and family members in an effort to get a reaction out of them.
Y'all, look at me. I got a grenade in my hand. Y'all like that? Yeah, that's cool, huh? I'm cool. I'm gonna sleep with it tonight. After you take one photo, just reuse it. Why do you gotta get 30 different angles of you eating brunch with the grenade? Oh, I'm about to eat a grenade. Like, bro, you know that shit is not safe in your hands.
It was all fun and games until a friend received an interesting photo of the grenade. The friend says, "Where are you? Everything is fine?" Alex later responds, "It depends on what you consider normal." This photo was attached. And hey, you guys at home watching,
Oh my God, yo, this is a 3 brain cell play right here. I don't know how grenades work. I know when you release the pin, like now it's about to detonate, doesn't he still have enough time to throw it, or how does it work?
notice anything about the grenade? The fucking pin is pulled out of it. Uh-oh. Moments after sending this image, the grenade exploded, killing Alex instantly and reportedly blowing his body in half. Alex was later discovered by police in his car, and they took an extremely graphic photo showing the aftermath of the blast that I can't show here. While you might suspect this to be deemed a suicide, according to the police, that wasn't the case.
Bro, the thought of holding a live grenade in your hand, taking a selfie, texting your friend, and still like not knowing what to do with the grenade is crazy to me.
During their investigation, they reportedly reviewed messages sent to friends by Alex, and upon concluding their review, it appears the man mistakenly believed that grenades only exploded if they were thrown. Thus, he pulled the pin thinking he was safe, and kaboom. The incident was determined to be an accident.
Idiot. So he thought there was like an amount of pressure that needed to be had for it to actually explode. Idiot.
Death, and will be the last dangerous demise-causing selfie that I'll be discussing. The ALS ice bucket death.
Someone died doing that? I feel like that was the funniest one. Everybody was doing that regardless of their age. How?
I hate to tell you, but one of the most positive and well-meaning internet challenges has a death associated with it, and the way that this happened is something you would never expect or predict.
We are following breaking news out of Campbellsville, Kentucky, where
Out of everybody that could have been hurt, it's firefighters? Out of everybody?
several firefighters are seriously injured after helping college students in the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge.
The Ice Bucket Challenge was a worldwide phenomena that aimed to raise money for those struggling with ALS.
Okay, that's overkill. You see, this is something that I feel like would result in a death. Yo, he's literally drowning in there.
Also known as Lou Gehrig's disease. It's a progressive neurodegenerative disease that affects the motor neurons in the brain and spinal cord.
Some of y'all were not doing the ALS correctly. This was to raise money. Some of y'all nominated someone and didn't even donate a single dollar. I was one of them.
Eventually leading to full body paralysis and death. No cure exists. While the condition is well known by the public now, 10 years ago that wasn't really the case, and you have the Ice Bucket Challenge to thank for the awareness. The trend of people dumping ice water on each other to bring attention to ALS on social media began in 2014. First participants were athletes who personally knew friends and colleagues suffering from the disease. From there, the recorded challenges went viral, spreading to the greater internet. Much of its spread was thanks to a built-in component of the challenge itself. You know, when you performed it after you got the icy drench, the challenger was supposed to challenge somebody else to do it. So it's like a chain reaction of sorts. And before you knew it, everyone from YouTubers to
Now, why y'all do her like that? Come on, bro. You could have easily done a retake on this. I don't know if she would want to, but that wig ain't have to come off like that. Who is she? I swear to God, she looks familiar. Isn't she like one of the YouTube OGs?
bona fide mainstream celebrities were participating, all in the name of raising awareness and collecting funding in the hopes of finding an ALS cure. Aside from celebrities, you also had a slew of everyday people, schools, and sports teams getting behind the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge cause. And sadly, it's one of these smaller scale ice bucket ventures that would end in tragedy. This is 41-year-old Anthony Grider of Louisville, Kentucky. Long before this story taking place, the man had dedicated his life to helping others and saving people, working as a firefighter and paramedic. The man was said to have been an uplifting individual, and because of his merit, he was made captain of Campbellsville Fire and Rescue in Kentucky, which is where this story actually transpires. When Tony heard that the local community was banding together in a show of support to help find a cure for a destructive disease, he was all in to help them. On August 21st of 2014, Tony, along with other firefighters from the Campbellsville Fire Department, were helping the local marching band at Campbellsville University. The band was participating in the viral Ice Bucket Challenge and wanted to do it in a big yet unique way. The plan was to have Tony and some additional firemen get in the fire truck's ladder and bucket, raise it over the marching band members, and then spray the group with water from above. In, you know, what was supposed to be a fun showcase of support for those struggling with ALS. When the time for the ALS ceremony came, many community members were in attendance. One photographer snapped a photo of the scene, the image showcasing the inspiring moment right as—
Don't tell me that entire thing collapsed, because that's what I'm suspecting right now. Don't tell me this entire thing collapsed.
The band was being drenched in water, dispatched by Tony and a couple of other firemen. After the challenge was filmed, Tony and the crew were descended in the bucket ladder back down to the ground. But at some point during this descent, the bucket came in close proximity to an electrical line. While neither the bucket or Tony ever physically touched the line, the electrical current from it was powerful enough to close the gap. Tony and the other firemen were instantaneously electrocuted by the high voltage current, incapacitating the men and knocking electricity out to the surrounding area. The inspiring ceremony quickly turned into a living nightmare. The electrocuted firemen were eventually recovered from the bucket and rushed to the hospital, with the community traumatized but hopeful that they would survive. It wouldn't be weeks until the fates of these men became public knowledge. Two of them were released from the hospital and made a full recovery. Unfortunately, Tony's case was far more severe. He had taken the brunt of the electric shock and was in critical condition for close to a month. Sadly, on September 21st, it was announced that Tony had succumbed to his electrical—
Wow. To think you're doing something so like innocent and carefree, just to find out you're gonna get electrocuted to death? That's scary, man. RIP him. Wow.
Injury, and was pronounced dead. A public funeral would be held in the man's honor, which included a procession of fire trucks and hundreds of local residents coming together in mourning. Months later, Tony was memorialized with a statue at Taylor Regional Hospital. And like I mentioned at the beginning of the segment, you never would have expected the death to happen the way that it did. Death by hot chip challenge.
And y'all want me to do this? Y'all want me to do this? Yo, the hot chip challenge will never see me again. The hot chip challenge will never see me again. Yo, the way I threw up that day, man, my insides, my internal organs were burning.
The consumption of spicy foods like peppers and hot sauces has long garnered attention online. There have been entire YouTube channels that have made names for themselves by eating spicy morsels.
Like, is it worth it? Bro, you know we have free will, right? Everybody could do what they want in life. You don't have to do this.
Literally getting views by just torturing your mouth.
The people I'll never understand are the people that run like spicy TikTok accounts. People that have like a high spice tolerance to the point where they're dipping Carolina Reapers into some wings and they eat the wings with extra hot sauce. Well, I'm like, damn, bro. I don't even want to know how your stomach functions at night. How much stomach aches do you have? Do you even have stomach aches? I know that bathroom is nothing but red diarrhea.
You could go as far as to say that there's like an unspoken competition among the human race.
Look. I like spicy food, but if that spice is spicier to the point where I can't even taste the food, it's terrible. I'm sorry, gang, it's terrible. There's no reason why you should eat something and the only thing you're tasting is spice. Spice should be able to complement the food, not overpower it.
For who can stomach the spiciest thing. Oh, you down to raw ghost pepper without drinking a drop of milk? You know, that's bragging rights. That being said, capsaicin competition doesn't come without risks.
What?
There have been literally hundreds of documented cases involving people being hospitalized or even killed due to adverse
Man dies after eating chili sauce. Why would you do that? He and his girlfriend's brother had an ongoing friend rivalry to see who could create the hottest sauce. Wow.
reactions from eating spicy foods. This usually takes the form of respiratory distress or anaphylactic allergic reactions. It's also possible that someone could experience complications from vomiting, such
I literally vomited. If y'all seen the color of my vomit that day, it was like 3 different colors.
as choking or even esophageal rupture. While such cases are extremely rare, one must enter the arena of spice with caution. Which brings us to the case of the Hot Chip Challenge. The Hot Chip Challenge, as we know it, involves the consumption of this particular snack food product, the Pocky One Chip Challenge chip. Encased in a coffin-shaped cardboard box embossed with skulls is the Pocky chip, a large tortilla chip.
Like, does that even look good? Ew, like the color of it just looks like hell, bro. I don't know how to describe it. It looks like a volcano. Why would anyone want to consume this?
Dusted with powders extracted from Carolina Reaper peppers, Sichuan peppers, and scorpion peppers. The chip's potency has been estimated by some to be at over 2 million Scoville heat units, a pain level described by a chili expert as equivalent to eating molten lava.
Literally.
While certainly a hyperbolic description, if you watch videos online of people eating these things, well, there's no better way to put it. They look like they're about to fucking die.
I literally was. Everything is hot. Your brain is hot. Your tongue is hot. Your mouth is hot. Your neck, your throat is hot. Your chest is hot. Everything becomes hot. It's literally like 100-degree weather. It's terrible. Look, it says you must be 18 plus. You can't even be a minor eating this, bro.
The Pocky One Chip Challenge instructs users to eat the one chip and then not drink any water or liquids for a whole hour.
Oh, hell nah. Dude, no. What? Wait, hold on. What to expect? Death? Why are y'all putting death? Why are you putting a coffin? And on top of all of that, the fact that I even ate this is an accomplishment. Don't ask me to not consume milk or ice cream. Shut your ass up.
To eat the one chip and then not drink any water or liquids for a whole hour. You're encouraged to film this process and publish it online as proof. Hence the viral nature of this fad. The Pocky's challenge became quite successful, and the potent chip could be commonly found in gas stations and grocery stores around the US after it went
Imagine being hungry on a road trip and you're like, yeah, let me go ahead and grab a one chip. Obviously, this is a gimmick, but why are people still eating this?
viral. But the growth of the fad was not without its health concerning hangups. Pocky apparently became concerned that at-risk individuals such as children and pregnant women could be harmed by their challenge. So to
If you're pregnant and you eat this, don't be surprised with how your child is gonna turn out. There's no reason why you should be doing this to your child.
cover their ass, they later added a warning label that recommended such groups avoid the challenge altogether. But as you might expect, kids who were hyped off of the social media craze, they could care less about a label and wanted to get in on the one chip trend and
This is such an interesting build. I feel like he should be in like a medieval Disney movie. I don't know why. The way his neck is just protruding out like this.
impress their friends. Many children would be hospitalized after participating, triggering subsequent bannings of the chips in some school districts around the United States, with school administrators fearing that children would start doing the challenge at school and getting hurt. And a lot of kids were doing the challenge at school, but nothing all too tragic had happened yet.
Carolina Reaper plus Naga Viper Pepper. Y'all chip wasn't already hot enough? Dude, what are y'all doing? Next up, y'all gonna come up with a DLC? Like, that shit is genuinely terrible.
That was until September 1st, 2023.
A sad story out of Massachusetts where a teen who took part in a spicy tortilla chip challenge has died.
Harris Woloba, a 14-year-old from Worcester,
Wait, hold on. Didn't this dude take multiple one chip challenges?
Massachusetts, was in class at Doherty Memorial High School when one of his friends offered him a Pocky one chip. Harris had apparently been wanting to try the challenge, so he ate the chip, suffering
Yo, imagine being the friend that offered him that. Oh my God, I know he feels guilty as shit.
through the pain while in class. Eventually, Harris developed a stomach ache and got sent to the nurse's office, and there he confessed to eating the Pocky chip. The nurse then contacted the boy's mother and informed her about the situation. Soon after, the mom came to pick up Harris. On the way home, he reportedly started to feel better, and the mother considered the Pocky-induced complications resolved. But the chip was just getting started. Later in the day, at around 4:30 p.m., as Harris was supposed to be getting ready for a high school basketball team tryout, he was discovered unconscious by his brother. The 14-year-old was immediately rushed to the hospital, where he was later pronounced dead.
You see, like, I'm telling you, just because you eat the chip, the effects still linger. Like, it's still spicy. I don't know if the kid was, like, lying about feeling better, but RIP, man. That's sad. Wow, imagine losing your son to a one-chip challenge of everything. RIP.
The one chip had apparently claimed its first victim, but how exactly? Harris's death was absolutely shocking to those at the school who knew him, and the circumstances surrounding it were a complete mystery to most people. That was until the family of Harris created a GoFundMe, which shared the details of what happened and the chip. The GoFundMe page would state, "On September 1st, my Aunt Lois's young son, Harris, passed away unexpectedly at the age of 14 from what we suspect to be complications due to the one-chip challenge. Autopsy pending." The pain our family is experiencing is unimaginable. Harris was a light that lit up the room with his presence and subtle charm. He was an intelligent, quirky, and incredibly talented young man who loved video games and playing basketball. Our family is planning to lay Harris to rest in the coming weeks, so I'm hoping that with the help of this compassionate community, we can raise enough funds to alleviate the burden of funeral expenses for his parents and siblings during this incredibly difficult time. Thank you in advance for your support. Your compassion and kindness resonate profoundly with us. With love, the Lama and Woloba family. With the Pocky element now public, media reports were linking the one-chip challenge to
How much does this even cost? I forgot. How much does it cost? So like about 15 bucks. I'm seeing some go for 15 bucks on Amazon. 15 bucks to just potentially just die.
a death for the first time, and Pocky was put on notice. Harris's death and the allegation resulted in massive backlash for the one-chip manufacturer, whose branding included many macabre elements such as skulls and allusions to death. Their website header also had some death-associated iconography and messaging, such as the motto, "How long can you last before you spiral out?" In the wake of recent events, that rather grim motto was deleted, along with other edgy marketing mottos found on their webpage. A full-blown panic ensued as parents around the US demanded the product to be removed from stores in an effort to protect their children.
Do y'all think the spice TikTokers that eat one chip with no reactions, do y'all think it's a lie and they're like replacing the tortilla chip with another looking tortilla chip? Because there's no way that there's TikTokers that could eat this with no reaction. That's crazy.
Pocky seemingly complied, with the brand issuing a full product recall out to retailers and offering refunds to customers who requested them.
There is a bag of chips. Obviously, I don't think this is as hot as with the one chip, but what?
Meanwhile, Harris's mother would speak to the media. She was fully convinced that the chip was the reason behind her boy's death and wanted the one chip to be fully discontinued.
What do you want to happen in terms of that chip company?
I wanted to be shut down. Yeah. I don't want it to happen to anybody.
And it seemed the brand itself actually agreed with the calls for their product to be discontinued, with a spokesman stating, quote, "While the Pocky one-chip challenge is intended for adults only, we have seen an increase in teen usage of the product. We care about all of our customers and have made the decision to remove the product from shelves."
That's good. Why can I buy this on the internet though?
Some of you might be wondering, like, yo, so the Pocky brand is just gonna give everything up and close up their entire operation just because of this controversy? At the time, Pocky was actually nothing more than a brand under the Hershey Company. Hershey acquired Pocky through the acquisition of another company, Amplify Snacks, back in 2018. So you might imagine, you got a company like Hershey that has countless amounts of income.
Yeah, so they don't even need it like that. And who out here is actually really buying Pocky chips?
Streams. Yeah, they would be more than happy to nuke this silly chip brand that could possibly land them in a multi-
Yeah, I think it's ironic that a company like Hershey that produces chocolates cares about a chip this heavy.
Death by planking.
Where in the world could you have plank for your ass to die like this? I'm sorry, where were you planking? In the middle of some train tracks? In a skyscraper? Where are we planking?
One of the earliest viral internet-based challenges was planking. A grassroots online fad of sorts involving people laying flat or planking on top of an object, snapping a photo of this action and then sharing it to social media or forums for attention. It started off as nothing more than a quirky, look how random and weird I am kind of thing, but later evolved into something of a competition. Before long, the web was becoming populated with photos of individuals planking in dangerous positions, taking what began as an innocuous and fun trend to something far more concerning. Which leads us to the story of 20-year-old Acton Beale of Brisbane, Australia.
What do you
Acton
know?
had been introduced to the concept of planking sometime in May of 2011 by a friend of his. This friend has been described by some as a planking expert and
I'm sorry, what? A planking what? There's experts at planking? There's people that know how to plank professionally? This is a thing that yeah, he got it. Yeah, that dude right there, he knows how to lay on his belly amazingly. Why are we giving these type of titles, huh?
Formed an online group that was solely dedicated to one-upping each other with crazy planking photos. On Facebook, they called themselves the Brisbane Planking Association? Or BPA. Acton would be indoctrinated into the group and would also find himself testing fate with his own risky planks. On the night of May 14th of 2011, Acton had gone out drinking with his buddies. During this romp, they made sure to plank around various areas of Brisbane in what they likely saw as drunken yet harmless fun. But their escapade took a dark turn around 4:30 in the morning.
What happened?
Acton, heavily inebriated, was hanging out on an apartment balcony located.
I just want to know who took the photo. Who was cool with saying, hey, yo, bro, yeah, I know you're drunk right now, but go ahead, stand on the edge of that. Yeah, right there. A little bit more. I'm gonna take a photo of you right here. Could you imagine the person who took the photo, what was going through their hair when his ass just fell off the goddamn tower?
At an inner city apartment block on Kangaroo Point's Main Street. And it's here that he decides to attempt his most dangerous plank yet. He climbed onto the balcony railing, laid face down on it, and stretched out into planking position, balancing his body weight across it. However, this proved to be a catastrophic mistake, as moments after assuming the position, the man lost his balance and rolled off the railing, plummeting down 7 stories and slamming onto the asphalt below.
7 stories? In plank position at that. His ass fell face front, bro. RIP.
Paramedics were immediately called and attempted to resuscitate Acton for nearly 20 minutes, but unfortunately he succumbed to his injury and was soon pronounced dead. The first death by planking was now in the books.
There's a difference between a harmless bit of fun done somewhere that's really safe and taking a risk with your life. This is a really tragic thing. There'd be a family that's...
Yo, bro, why would you add this random ass plank? I mean, unless this is the dude that died. Come on, bro. I'm hearing a story about a dude that just passed away and you gonna give me a random planker on the traffic light.
Just devastated.
Sadly, those who knew Acton had little time to grieve. Not long after his death, the incident was being reported about worldwide. Media outlets were covering the story, making a public mockery out of Acton's case due to it being connected to the viral planking trend. Instead of sympathy, the attitude towards Acton's death was often mockery and a fuck around and find out style.
Dude, back then the internet was ruthless. If you died for a dumb reason, of course they're gonna clown you. It was bad.
Sentiment. Some on the internet even insinuated that it was a good thing that Acton had died, because they thought what he did was so stupid. I wish this would happen to more people who plank.
Dude, who shat on your cereal? This is a weird way to admit that you got neglected as a child. Why?
The gene pool is cleansed a little bit. I feel no sympathy for this man. He was killed by his own stupidity.
You know what? If I look like that, I'd probably hate the world too.
A Facebook tribute page was put up for Acton, though it got quickly shut down due to the plethora of hateful comments and derisive messages it was receiving from malicious trolls who—
Yo, why are people acting like this man doesn't have a family that cares for him? And even if he didn't, yo, at the end of the day, it's someone that died. Like, where's the compassion?
were apparently fatigued by the planking fad. As a final note, and really insult to injury, Acton was given the dishonor of receiving the 2011 Darwin Award by DarwinAwards.com, a website that has given awards every year since 1993 to people who have taken themselves out of the gene pool doing something stupid. Looks like Acton fit the bill.
Anyways, YouTube, that does conclude the viral internet challenges that ended in disaster. Moral of the story, be safe. Don't be afraid to take selfies though. Just don't take selfies in crazy places, okay? RIP to all the victims in this video. Yo, you have free will. Don't do dumb things, all right? Just make sure you're safe. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, check out the gaming channel, catch the streams, man. All that good stuff. Waxer for life. Love y'all.